Coach Corey Wayne, and this is my video coaching newsletter. And the topic of today's newsletter is going to be, she called after 3 months. Well, what a lot of guys do when they find out about my work and they start applying what I teach, especially after they've read my book, and start to see how good what I teach really works, what every guy does, and I used to do the same thing when I was learning this stuff, is that you start going through your mind all of the relationships that you screwed it up with, or the girls that you started dating and things were going great and then she blew you off after a few weeks, or maybe a girl you were dating for a couple of months gave you the let's just be friends speech. And so you're practicing and you're becoming successful with other women. Now you're thinking, man, I want to go back and get those ones that I lost. Well, I got an email here from a guy who's from he's in Central America. I'll say that much. And this is the second one that email that he's actually written me. And this email that he wrote me is not actually about the first gal that he was dating and seeing, who I answered his questions, and he says that things are going quite well with that situation. But this actually is a woman that he knew before her about a year ago, and she gave him the Let's Just Be Friends speech, and he basically hadn't heard anything from her until this past, I guess he hasn't talked to her since this past January, so just like 3 months go by, and then she texts him out of the blue. And he uses some sexual innuendo, and I'm thinking that from what he said, maybe it's his translation from Spanish into English, which makes it sound a little awkward. But what I teach guys to do in my book is, if you're not comfortable doing sexual innuendo, if you're just starting to learn this stuff, perhaps it's probably best that you don't go there and you don't use those things, just because a lot of guys they get themselves into trouble, or instead of creating sexual attraction, you'll do the exact opposite. You'll put your foot in your mouth and you'll say something stupid, or say something that basically communicates that you still don't understand attraction. And if this is a woman you screwed it up with before, you got to keep in mind she's going to be testing you to see if you're still the same weak guy that she blew off before. And you got to pass her test before she'll actually go out on a date with you. And if you start doing things wrong right away, she's going to realize, because what happens is that as time goes by, men and women both, we tend to look through rose-colored glasses at the past. And 3 months ago, she may have thought, absolutely no way, never go out with that guy again. And then after 2 or 3 months goes by and she hasn't heard from you, and in the meantime she's met all these other guys that are douchebags or did 100 times worse things and messed up 100 times worse than you ever did, and then she starts thinking, hey, well, maybe this guy isn't so bad, maybe I should call him again. But you got to be ready, and what happens is when you walk away from a woman and she contacts you several months later, the idea is, in that period of time, you've been focusing on using what I teach and practicing with other women, because repetition's the mother of skill. And as you lose your fear of talking to women and interacting with women, ugly women, fat women, short women, gorgeous women, supermodel type women, it doesn't matter. You realize that they're all the same. They're all just little girls, basically, that just want to have fun and have a good time and enjoy themselves in life. And they really appreciate it when a guy comes along that actually knows how to talk and flirt and interact with them and have a good conversation and not creep them out, not be a douchebag. You can talk about relationships or whatever it happens to be, and she feels so comfortable around you, like she's known you forever, and that's what you want. And so when one of these previous girls come back that you've messed up with, the idea is in that period of time you've gotten a lot better. And so since you've gotten a lot better, obviously you'll do a lot more things right. And so maybe some of those girls that slipped away, when they come back around for the boomerang the second time, you'll do everything right. And I wrote about a couple women that happened with in my book. Because obviously as you grow and you become better and you become stronger and you become more confident as a man, you're going to do more things right. And women who may have blown you off, especially if months or maybe even a few years have gone by, I mean, you really will be a different guy, because you'll emanate different energy. Your body language will be different. It'll be confident. It'll be more relaxed, more peaceful. You'll be hanging back. You won't be leaning in. You won't be trying to force things along like you once used to. And that can really help to create attraction, because a guy that has that energy and that peace and that discipline and that emotional self-control is really rare. And so women can recognize guys like me and obviously other guys like I coach or guys that are watching this that apply these things, because these are natural behaviors that all men have. It's just that we've just learned a lot of really bad programming over our lives, and it's understanding how to show up and be confident and do the right thing as opposed to doing something to screw it up. He says, "Hey Corey, I'm the guy who's dating a woman with the kids who are being disrespectful. Well, not anymore, since I'm managing the situation quite well. Happens that before that, like 1 year ago this time, I was breaking up with another woman, and I was totally in love with her, but I didn't know anything about women yet. When we met, I was coming out of a relationship that lasted 1 year, and she was leaving a marriage of 6 years. I'm 32, she's 33. We had some friends in common and started dating after a weekend we spent at the beach by the invitation of mutual friends. I can say that in 3 months, I dropped her interest level from 70 to 80% to below 51% by being needy, kind of weak, and chasing her a lot. And as I say all the time, chasing women always guarantees rejection. But it's good that you can look back on it now and you have a more objective approach, because obviously you're succeeding with other women, and so you don't have that hungry, scarcity mindset and air about you anymore. Now you kind of have more of an abundance, all is well kind of attitude, just like a charming James Bond would. It's like nothing ever gets under his skin and nothing should ever get under yours. We had much in common, and I can say we had quite a good time together, and in every way. Besides me being needy, in the 3 months we were together, she discovered that her ex-husband cheated on her for the last 6 months of marriage. That drove her really nuts. And besides that, my ex-girlfriend started to investigate her life and generate drama between her and some mutual friends that she had with my ex. Now, one thing I want to say about that is my life's a drama-free zone. And when I was younger, I used to put up with women who create a lot of drama in our relationship or drama amongst my employees or that kind of thing. And I just don't tolerate that crap in my life anymore. And it's a good policy to have, because there's plenty of really awesome women in the world who are great communicators, who are healthy, have healthy lifestyles, who are successful and balanced, and they don't need a guy for anything, but they're looking for a man to share their completeness with. So don't spend your time chasing after chicks who are a mess, or especially the ones that are creating drama in your life. So after 3 months of dating, she left me and started with the only friends thing. And then I found out about you and started to learn something. After months of acting in my center, I believe she was again with greater than 51% of interest, and I set a date in my place. On this date, after we spent some good time and relaxing together, she told me at the end of the date, like at 4 a.m., that she was seeing another guy. I was kind of devastated. The best comeback in that situation, keep in mind, this is the first time you're seeing this chick in 3 months. Who fucking cares? You have no competition. At the end of the day, she's on a date with you tonight, and you got your shot right now to make something happen. And when a woman says something like that, a great comeback for that is, hey, that's okay. He can keep you busy when you're not with me. And it's just a simple way, because, I mean, at the end of the day, if you say something like, well, I don't want you dating anybody else but me, she's going to be like, you know, you can fucking pound sand. She's going to blow you off. I mean, you have no leverage at this point. So the only thing you can do is just, hey, go along with it. Your attitude should be, I mean, you're dating other women, so who fucking cares? You know, just let her come and go as she please. You have to. So he said, some days later, I sent her an email like the one you recommend in the article that you wrote, How to Get the Best Strategy to Get an Ex Back. And I'll put a link to that article on his page. I said I adored her, but I couldn't live with less than what I wanted, which was totally true. It was January 2012. I never heard from her since then until this past week. As I said, I'm a rheumatologist, and she has an uncle with a rare rheumatic disease. She started messaging me during work time. Of course, I didn't answer right away, but only at night and very straight. Well, here's what I would do. I would have not responded to her text at night. I would have waited, because here's the way I handle things. If she texts in the middle of the day, I'll respond to her. If this is somebody I haven't heard from in three months, I'm fucking texting her the next day. Why? I'm fucking busy. And if I obviously wasn't important enough to call over the past 3 months, I'll get back to you when I got some fucking time. That should be your attitude, because you're busy. You're dating another girl anyway, so it's like, who cares? And so if a woman calls you after 7 p.m. at night, just text her the next day. I always like to return phone calls with text, because at the end of the day, you should use the text or the phone or contact simply for setting up dates, not giving out information, chit-chat, or having a phone ship over the phone. The idea is you want to set dates and be in person to raise her interest together. You can't do it over the phone. She asked where I was working, and he told her all that. And he basically, what he says here is he's being all business, and then he says she's been messaging me, and I've been very straight and professional all the time. After all, she came with a message saying, I don't think it should be so radical that we may not talk anymore. It's sad. And I didn't like his response. I mean, here's what she's basically saying. I want to put you in friendship zone. I want to keep you there. So you walked away 3 months ago, and now she's showing back up, and she's got a test for you. And you're being all business, and you're basically being a cold fish instead of being playful and fun. And when she says, I don't think it would be so radical that we may not talk anymore. And I would have said, I agree. I look forward to seeing you naked in my bed again. Just like that. Or, I look forward to seeing you in my bed again. Or, I look forward to seeing you naked in my bed again, gorgeous. Little smiley face to send that back to her. I mean, that's playful and fun. And right away, you're going right back to what you want, which is you and her together having an intimate kind of relationship. Doesn't mean a committed relationship, but just hanging out, knowing that, hey, this is where I want it to go. And saying, with that in a nice way, you're just not going to say, I don't want to deal with that friendship bullshit. So, I mean, what he actually says here, he says, Caroline, I love when you talk to me, and you may ask me professionally for anything that you desire. You're basically saying, hey, I'll be your butler, I'll be your buddy, I'll be your friend. You're basically saying, I'm going to agree to go along with being just your friend again. And then he says, this is his way of trying to use sexual innuendo. But it may be a bad translation from when he translated it from Spanish to English, but it just sounds really lame. He says, if you want as a friend a man who will use all of his intelligence to try to take you to bed, you are welcome to come and tell me at my address. I guess he sent her his address. There's a very nice deck here. I don't know if I went too deep or if I went too heavy in the sex thing. And I would say that basically there's a right way to use sexual innuendo and there's a wrong way. Obviously the way you did it, it kind of sounds like you basically communicated, I don't have any game. And if you ever saw the Will Smith movie, what was it? It was called Hitch, where he's basically what I do for a living. And he helps guys out. And there was a scene in the movie where the main guy that he's working with, they're in Will Smith's apartment, and he's teaching them how to dance and have some rhythm. And this guy dances like the way he thinks a cool guy would dance. And Will Smith just goes, don't ever do that again. And that's what I would say to you. It's like, don't ever come off like that. Maybe you should back off with a sexual innuendo because it doesn't come out right. You should focus on being playful and fun instead of serious and being a cold fish all the time, because James Bond is always charming and he's a little bit naughty. And that's like what I said when she says, I don't think it's an odd thing for us to be talking again. It's like, I think it's a great idea. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing you naked in my bed again, gorgeous. And that's all you got to say. Less tends to be more. So if you find this message of value, you can show your appreciation by going down to the Wibbia toolbar, which is at the bottom of your screen if you're watching this video on my website, and click the PayPal donate button and donate any amount that you feel is equal to the value of the information in this video. At the very least, please share this page with all your friends and family by clicking any one of the social network sharing buttons, which are also located on the Wibbia toolbar at the bottom of your screen. And if you have a question that you want to ask me or a topic you'd like me to cover in a future video newsletter, click the Contact Me tab on the left-hand side of your screen and send me 3 or 4 paragraphs max detailing your situation, your challenges. And you just got to give me several days to get back to you with a detailed response, because I get a lot of email from the internet and I get a lot of email from my paying phone coaching customers, and obviously I have to answer their emails first. But be patient, I will get back to you. And if you want to talk to me right away so I can help you with a specific challenge or situation you're having, click the Products tab at the top of your screen so you can book a paid phone coaching session with me personally right away. Just follow the instructions, and I will talk to you soon.